Hi, this is Mel in Mesa, Arizona. And if you watch any of my videos, you know that I talk a lot about soil pH and how important it is in when you're growing different types of trees. And so today I thought I'd talk a little bit and explain a little bit more about the pH so that you know why I talk so much about that and why it's so important. Different plants have to have different pH levels. And there's your water that you use to water those trees and plants on can affect what the pH of it is. So you can check the pH of your soil with a meter like this. This is just a an analog meter that you can get for under $20 online or at like any of the big box stores like Home Depot or Lowe's or anything like that. You can get them at there. And most of these meters measure things like it has here moisture, light, and pH. So you want to make sure that this switch is on the right one at what you're trying to test, and that you're trying to look at the right one here, because the top one is light, the middle one there is how wet the soil is, and the bottom one, this scale at the bottom, is what's going to be for your pH level of your soils. And so this helps. So you might want to get a meter, and it has long probes on here, and you want to put them in the ground at least 6 inches and leave it in the ground there about a minute for it to adjust and get to the right pH of what your soil is, so that you know what the soil of your around your plants is. Now, I got a little bit more expensive meter to check liquids in that. Um, this is a pH 20 meter that I got, and I'm going to go ahead and pull it out of here. Put this down the ground here. But it has a special probe down here, and you fill the liquid up down here to the bottom that you're going to be measuring. And so I've done the first off, you have to calibrate it, and I calibrate it by checking. This is a 4 pH liquid, this is a 7 pH liquid, and this is a 10.01 pH liquid, so just above 10 pH liquid. And so you have to calibrate it with each one of these liquids first. So it's a little bit more complicated than what most people want to do, but and it took me a little while to learn how to use it also. And then when you store it with this liquid here that you put around in the bottom there to store it with. But so let me go ahead and move these 4 bottles here. And so we've got these 2 different meters here that we use. But on the tap water, you can see the tap water that I tested. Now this is the tap water in my area in Mesa, Arizona. Even in different parts of the valley here, where I live, in the different cities and different areas, can be different pH. So that's why you want to be able to test the pH in your area. And bottled water, just a regular bottled water I bought at the store, was a pH of 6.4. And so that's a lower pH. And even for your body, things that you're eating and everything like that can affect the pH of your body. And your body wants about a 7.0 pH, sometimes a little bit higher, a little bit lower. But you want to try to keep your body pH at about a 7.0 also. Now rainwater, because it rained, it's the first time it rained in quite a while, but I got some rainwater. And the rainwater, I tested it, and it was a 7.2 pH, so it's almost neutral. 7.0 is a neutral pH. Most of your trees that you grow in the yard, things like citrus and stone fruit trees like apricots, peaches, plums, nectarines, those want a 6.0 pH to a 7.0 pH. That's if you keep your pH in a 6.0 to a 7.0, which is difficult in my area because our pH here is a 7.5 to 8.5. So on one side of my house where I grow a lot of my tropical trees and different types of trees that want a pH, lower pH, I add sulfur to my soil over there. And then when I'm watering it, sometimes I'll take a container of water and I'll add a little bit of vinegar, because vinegar is a pH of 1.2, or I can squeeze some lemon juice in it, and lemon juice is a pH of 1.2, so that will drop the pH of this liquid. And then you want to put your probe in there and measure it, so you don't want to get it too low, you don't want it too high. So you want to check your pH of your liquid before you water your plants with it. So there's a lot of plants that need a low pH, a real acid pH. Things like blueberries. A blueberry wants a soil pH of 3.8 to 5.5. The best pH, being the optimum pH, would be 4.5. But you want to keep between 3.8 and 5.5. If it's not in that pH, blueberries can't absorb nutrients from the ground. So even though you're putting all the fertilizer on it and fertilizing your plants properly and everything, because that pH isn't right, it can't absorb those nutrients, and so your plants easily die. And people, why am I having so much trouble with blueberries? There's another plant called a miracle tree. The miracle tree grows those little red berries on it. That if you chew on the berries, it actually changes things that are acidic, like a lemon. If once you've chewed on a miracle berry for about a minute or two, then it changes the taste buds on your tongue, and you can't taste the bitter taste buds, and so it'll make vinegar taste sweet. Or if you bite into a lemon, it can make a lemon taste like an orange. It makes it taste sweet. So, but those miracle bushes, miracle trees, they need a soil pH of 4.5 to 6.0. So they need a lower pH also. So that's why there's some plants that people have trouble with, because if you're not checking the pH all the time and adjusting that pH to where they can absorb the nutrients, that the plant eventually is just going to die. I have 6 different varieties of jaboticaba trees. That's, if you haven't heard of the jaboticaba, that's the Brazilian grape tree. It grows grapes on the trunk and larger branches of the tree, and those have to have a pH of 5.5 to 6.5. So that's why I said I have 6 different varieties of jaboticaba trees, and so I add a lot of sulfur to the east side of my house, and then I have to adjust the water that I'm going to use to water those plants with, so that they have the right pH also. So I can keep my jaboticaba trees alive. And then just recently, I got in a tree called a cacao tree. Cacao tree, if you're not familiar with that, it grows a fruit on it, and the fruit you open up, and it has kind of a membrane around some seeds in there that you eat, and it's kind of sweet. But the seeds you take and you ferment them and then you roast them, and that's what they make chocolate out of. So when you buy a chocolate bar at the grocery store and eat it, it's made from the fruit of the cacao tree. So the cacao tree has kind of a wide pH level for the soil. It can grow in 4.5 pH, which is an acid pH, clear up to a 8.0 pH, which is alkaline pH. Anything above 7.0, remember 7.0 is neutral. But it says it's best if grown in a 6.5 to 7.0 to get your optimum growth and your best fruiting on it. And so then there's, like I told you, most trees 6.0 to 7.0, but we here in the valley here in Mesa, Arizona and Phoenix, Arizona area, we have a lot of date palm trees around here and regular palm trees. But a date palm tree can actually wants a soil pH of 8.0, so our tap water is 8.0, so we're okay there, and to 11.0. So it wants an alkaline pH, so it's, also people wonder, with it being as hot as it is here in Arizona, how do these date palm and regular palm trees grow? Well, the branch of the leaves on those, the green part of the leaves, actually has a waxy coating on it that protects it from the heat of the sun, so it doesn't let the moisture from its leaves evaporate. And so it actually survives really good and grows really good here. We have lots of different varieties of date palms. I have a couple of different date palms at my house here that I'm growing, both male and female, because you do have to have, on date palms, you have to have a male and a female tree. But you can see why pH of the soil is important. Some people just are lucky and the water coming out of their tap is about where it needs to be. But our tap water is alkaline, and so we do have to bring our pH down in order to grow most plants, except for like the date palm tree. Bottled water it's too expensive to water it with that, but a lot of people have an RO system, and most of your bottled water is RO water, reverse osmosis. If you don't know what RO is, that's a reverse osmosis system that you can have added to your house. And then the rainwater, you can see that's a 7.2. So even with rainwater, if you have sulfur in the ground, it's going to keep a lower pH. But rainwater and rainwater is going to be different in different areas. I think it's, big metropolitan areas like Phoenix and LA, Miami, Tokyo, um, uh, London, England, places like that where there's more vehicles and that, it's going to probably be a higher pH on rainwater also because it's bringing those chemicals out of the air as it rains down to the soil. But rainwater usually is about the best and cleanest water that the plants can get because tap water also has chlorine in it, which is chemicals. That's why I try to run it into a container and let it sit for at least 24 to 48 hours before I water my plants with that. And then I have a hose hooked up to the container that I run and water out. So I do a lot of different things that most people don't. And most plants are tolerant for a different ranges and stuff like that. But if you have any questions about pH or different plants, what the pH is on them, you can look them up in Google. But if you want to put it in the comments, you can ask about different plants, what the pH level should be for those plants. And if you have any other questions, you can put them in the comments also. What trees you've had success with, what trees you've had trouble with, and there's a lot of different things. On plants, it's kind of like a child. You got to make sure they get the right vitamins, so the right food, and you got to make sure they're drinking water and staying hydrated. It's the same on trees in that if you're going out and checking on them, getting them the right fertilizer, the right nutrients, and the right water, and the right pH of the water, then they're going to survive and they're going to do a lot better, and they're going to give you more fruit, and so you're going to be happier and you're going to survive. You're not going to have trees dying on you. So if you have any questions, please put them in the comments. If you'd like to subscribe to our channel, hit the subscribe button. And after the subscribe button, there is a bell. If you hit the bell, it'll actually notify you as we do other videos. So I want to thank you for watching today and have a great day.